be falling apart when they see this.
I'd like to see this myself. Don't you remember the cartoons?
Sure.
What is it?
That's all, folks.
See that?
That's the kind of stuff you want, huh? More stuff. Do things.
Physical.
All right. You've all familiar. We've done this before, but we're going to do it again. It's called television and movie cliches. You've heard them a million times on the late movies, television. Same lines here on different shows.
Very often here.
That's right, and you're going to hear some more. But very often, when you hear a cliche, you don't know exactly what they're talking about.
Right.
So you do the cliche. I'll do the cliche. You try to guess.
Right.
I don't care who does it. One of us do it.
You know,
the other one try to guess.
You do the cliche, because then I guess, and you get the snapper.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
I was the star E.
That's right.
All right, here's a cliche. And here they are, the dynamic duo.
That was the introduction to the Batman show.
Wrong.
Oh.
You see, you jumped.
Yeah.
That's Ed Sullivan introducing Raquel Welch. You see, you must remember. There's a snake loose in the audience there. Somebody's paging a snake. All right, buddy, take one last look down there and say goodbye to that rotten jungle.
That's a World War II pilot looking down as he's on his way home.
Wrong. That's why World War II. No, that's yours, isn't it? That's what you said. No, that's Mayor Lindsay looking down on his way to the Caribbean as he flies over New York. Hey, gang, I've got an idea. Let's put on a show in my uncle's barn.
That's Mickey Rooney in a 40 musical.
No, that's a weird wife-swapping group in Levittown. Very weird. Yes, I know. Even the guys are telling me now. Guess I don't need man hiding behind the boom. He's dying again. You ready?
Yes.
And the one, then the two, and the three.
That's easy. Lawrence Welk.
No, that's Marcello Mastroianni, playing an Italian fight referee.
I think I'm with the guy on the boom.
Ready?
Yes.
You stay here. I'll circle around. This doesn't make any difference now.
Okay, go ahead.
You stay here. I'll circle around back.
That's the cops surrounding a killer's hideout.
No, that's two dressmakers making a sarong for Kate Smith. That's what that is. That's what that is. Another day on the river has begun and life begins once more. Life, death, life, death.
That's Marlon Perkins explaining the Nile River.
No, that's a guy named Rocky explaining the Hudson River.
I'll have a drink of that myself.
Yes, I think. Little coffee sometimes.
Yeah. Straightens out.
Quickens the mind. Look, sweetheart, you and me could never make it back together home.
Wait a minute. That's Bogart.
No, wait a minute. You and me could never make it together back home. Not... What did I say the first time?
I don't know.
I said, look, you and me could never make it home back together. You see, it's wrong. It should be, look, sweetheart, you and me could never make it together back home.
That's Bogart trying to cool it with Ingrid Bergman in Casablanca.
No.
Oh.
That's Seymour trying to cool it with Bruce on Fire Island. You see, didn't you know that? We'll skip the next one.
Okay.
Because we want to keep the pacing going here.
Right.
I'll give you until exactly 12 noon to get that out of town. Or to get out of town. I know why this isn't working. I can't read them. You got to read them to get laughs. You can't just stand here and not read them. I'll give you until exactly 12 noon to get out of town.
That's Gary Cooper and High Noon.
No, that's a Penn Central conductor being threatened on the 8 a.m. commuter special. What is that, teletype for me? We've been canceled. So somebody walked in with a telegram and says, oh, they know a bad bit when they hear one upstairs. Right in the middle, they cancel us. Let's see. Shall we skip the next one and go to the biggie?
I don't think it makes any difference now.
I'm telling you it makes a difference, all right? Right here on my shoe.
Ed Sullivan.
Wrong-o. An out-of-towner complaining about New York's dog problem. Told you it was a biggie. Another winner. A little more coffee? No. Too much coffee is bad for you.
But I like that coffee. There's no caffeine in it. Aha.
What?
I was just filling a little airspace there. A lot of people don't actually watch the show. They just listen in their beds.
Right.
And if they don't hear anything, they think we left. So when you reach down, I try to fill in those little gaps with a little...
Well, that was a brilliant display. There it is. Do it again. Good. 8 years we're getting already. And now here's Ed with a word from not Uncle Ben, from Sherwin and Williams. The people who cover the earth.
That's all. Sherwin today is just the people who cover the earth.
You're today's man. And Gallencamp shoes are there.
Gallencamp knows what you want, and Gallencamp has it. More new ideas in men's footwear, and everything at a modest price.
You're today's man. And Gallencamp is there.
Psychotherapy. The world's first psychedelic psyche-doodler. Psychotherapy. Get a calendar of inner peace and tranquility. Psychotherapy. When you buy Flair. Psychotherapy. The new way to write. Psychotherapy. Now in 10 psychedelic colors. Flair's smooth, tough nylon point makes a rich, vivid line that can be fine or bold. Psychotherapy. You get it with Flair. Psychotherapy. Look for this display at your favorite store.
We are back. Here's a real nut, but every year he develops a great deal of time, not only for the telethon, but all through the year, for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. And this year is his 19th year. I didn't realize that.
21st.
What?
21st.
As my producer said, his 21st year. Not his 19th. It says the 19th year. He just did 2 more years while he was waiting for this worthy cause. Would you welcome Jerry Lewis?
When I sub for you 4 or 5 months a year, I know how rough it is.
You're going to be doing this again in September.
Yes, they told me that that's it. I can't make it with my own show, but I'm a great sub. You know how many shows I lost on NBC? 9.
No, you didn't lose.
Oh, yes.
How could you lose 9 shows?
Easy. Just by going on.
And they said that's it.
I'm very big in Haifa, but they don't carry the show there.
There's one of the reasons. Gotta get you going. Here we go. Here goes the sympathy.
See, there's a good show for him. That's 1 in a row.
So, where did you come in from?
I'm 6 feet tall. I weigh 170. I love Marlon Brando. My favorite actress is Teresa Wright. My favorite color is blue. I love to eat pancakes. I think you're a dream. If you'd breathe that way, I'd appreciate it.
Little grim, isn't it? And you wear pajamas? They always ask that in the telephone.
Oh, yeah, I wear them if I have no plans. Well, we ain't getting anywhere with the home sponge yet.
The home sponge?
Yeah, way down. Yeah.
How long do you have to prepare to get ready for this show every year? Seriously now. You're on for 20 hours. You start at 10 o'clock tomorrow night, Sunday night.
10:30 Sunday night.
10:30 Sunday night. You go for 20 straight hours. Now, how much time during the year do you have to spend getting ready for this one?
About
I would say 2 months after the telethon, we start preparing for the next one.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Good heavens. And you got it. This is different this year, isn't it?
First time we go coast to coast. Yeah.
You're going to pick up and have master ceremonies at various locations, right?
Yeah,
Las Vegas.
We're going to have home base jockeys, as we call them, in Vegas. Sinatra will be introduced from my stage. Frank will go on for his show at Caesar's Palace as I introduce him. We will cut into Los Angeles, get to the people that can't come to New York. Last year we raised $2 million. When we went off the air, we raised $2,039,136 that was pledged by May, which was 6 months or so later. We had over $2,400,000 in cash, so that we received like 109% or 106%.
That's very unusual because in the early years of telethons, they had trouble with people calling up and pledging and then to get their name on the air or something, and they wouldn't follow up on it.
Well, New York is a marvelous place, John. They've been very, very good to me, and they believe me. I think that's really where it's at. They believe me, and they're good, and they know my plight. They know the plight of the children. And NBC's been marvelous in that they've allowed me to do what is difficult for them to allow, in that I plug the telethon. There are other agencies that are vitally important that need the assistance of the public just as badly as we do. Yet, this is very special, and in the 21st year, we're hoping that we can have the equal thrill that we had when the Muscle Institute went up about 5 years ago, which they called the house that Jerry built, which was very, very exciting for me. We'd like to have that equal excitement, hopefully after this telethon, by getting that large lead ball and knocking it down. So that's really what my dream is, to knock it down.
Never having to use it again.
Not needing it anymore. And with this coast-to-coast telethon, if what we did locally with just some outlying stations raised $2.4 million, we could maybe get the money we need, that bulk money for research.
That would be great.
Yeah, and I appreciate your coming on.
Oh, come on,
because,
everybody comes on.
You got I know 8, 9 people that were so excited when I told them that you were going to be on.
Contacted our whole audience. That was it.
You know you're one of my favorite fans.
Thanks.
I go anywhere with you, John.
Did you buy a new boat? Did I read that you're back in the boating business?
70-footer.
Well, that's not a boat. That's
Wide.
That's a wide. That's big.
6 feet long, fattest little bugger you ever saw. Kate Smith comes on and that's it.
One trip.
Yeah.
That's not a boat. That's a yacht.
It's a yacht. Yes.
Yeah, a yacht.
And I am the captain.
Oh, you must go out with you soon.
Oh, why don't you give me one of your smart remarks, John?
I'm not going to say anything about
You want me to
anything
go on one of the other daytime shows, Mike Douglas, and talk about you?
I'm not going to say anything about your experience with your captain of your other boat.
No, that was not my fault. That was an accident. We almost lost our lives, and my back has been just terrifying since. If you want to make jokes about the fact that my right arm has given me a lot of trouble, that's okay, John.
What was it you hit?
I hit
a seal or something?
I hit the Independence.
One little seal.
Well, it was noon. You couldn't see.
One little seal out there.
Why don't you have a cigarette?
Let me know. I'm trying to give it up.
Okay.
I did for a while, and you should do the same thing.
Oh, that's my most... I wouldn't wash my car without it.
That's unfair.
Thank you.
Now, here's Ed with some motherly advice about Kellogg's. I love it when you're angry. When you're, yes, thank you. Well, cornflakes.
Anyone ever say you look like Rochelle Hudson?
If your mother could see you right now, you know what she'd probably say? That you should get a good night's sleep, have pleasant dreams, and isn't it too bad you have to go without nourishment until breakfast? Well, to satisfy your mother, and especially yourself, we suggest a bowl of Kellogg's cornflakes before you say nighty-night. Most people just scream about them because they're light, crunchy, nutritious. They sit just right on your late-night tummy. So for your own good, enjoy a bedtime snack of Kellogg's cornflakes. And besides, it'll make your mother happy. Right now, here's another way that Kellogg's happies up you and your family.
Mommy, when you got married, did Daddy carry you over the threshold? He did?
Time to get back into things? Start your weight control program with a Special K breakfast. Less than 240 calories, 99% fat-free, loaded with protein, and delicious. Let the Special K breakfast help you get back into things.
You know, Mom, when I grow up, I want to look just like you.
See over 100 of your favorite stars in their most famous roles. Movieland Wax Museum in Buena Park. A time.
I'm going to tell it to you like it is. The facts about today's so-called diet soft drinks. Because they've replaced the cyclamates with sugar, most of them have as much as 36 times more calories than New Verner's 1 calorie. Yet New Verner's 1 calorie has no cyclamates and absolutely no sugar. That's why there's only 1 calorie in 6 ounces. Flavor? New Verner's 1 calorie still tastes just like regular Verner's. Delicious. Now, don't you believe New Verner's 1 calorie is the diet soft drink to buy?
See Carol Channing with Fred McMurray, Art Carney, Sir John Gielgud, and Sir Ralph Richardson Wednesday night.
Let's look at all the different men you are. Let's go inside your head. Saturday night. She's waited for you all week. You're wearing a body shirt that keeps you looking great till the wee small hours and shows her just how you feel. Down to business, Mr. Businessman. Today it's a Van Heusen 417 with bold, colorful stripes. The most scientifically fitted body shirt we've ever made. A shirt that says what's in your head. Look out, world. You're other people, too. Adventurer, dreamer, the guy who, once in a while, needs to be alone. That's why Van Heusen makes so many different body shirts. 417s for all the different feelings in your head. At Van Heusen, we make body shirts for your head.
Available at May Company, all 17 stores.
Everybody knows that we have a drug problem in this country. Is it going to get better or worse? Watch Inquiry, Sunday at 6:30.
The John McKay Show premieres September 13th.
Oh, we're back. All righty. You used to do card tricks, didn't you?
Some years ago, before the accident, yes.
That's when the truck went right over all of the...
It was from the
It's
back.
a transplant, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
We're looking wonderful.
You did magic for a great while, didn't you, John? I mean, prior to you getting into the business successfully.
Right. No, I started, believe it or not, as a young magician in the Midwest.
No.
I thought you might like to see an example
Oh, I really would.
of my handiwork. Remember last year in the telethon, I did a card trick with you?
Yep, and that's when the phones just stopped.
Absolutely. And the lead ball came in and hit me right in the zonker.
I love the way...
What?
I really loved it.
Okay.
Oh, you have marvelous hands.
Thank you. Okay.
Ten of diamonds.
No. You're not supposed to. Come around. Come around. Okay. Luke, we haven't prepared this.
No.
Okay.
We would never lie in front of the phone.
Hold out one hand like that, flat.
Right.
Like that. And when I fan them out, just take your left forefinger.
Left forefinger.
And pull one card onto your hand and then cover it up. Okay?
Right.
Don't show it to me. Just one. That's right. Put your left hand right on top of it.
I got it right on top of it.
Okay. Mix it up. Just raise up your left hand.
Raised right up.
Okay. Any place on the deck.
Any place. Wherever you want to put it.
No. Any place.
No, I...
Behind my back. Watch. No.
Oh, I meant no harm.
What was the name of the card you just had in your hand?
You didn't let me... I never looked at... You remember,
No, look, I can't find... No, the idea, you gotta look at it, Jerry, otherwise...
No, when you said to keep my finger, I would never... It's your show. I would if it was my show, I would lose it.
I assumed, you're a grown man, that you'd look at the card.
No, you said to keep my finger.
No, I didn't... Of course, so they wouldn't see it. But otherwise, if I can't
Are you
find
putting me on?
No, I can't find the card if you don't look at it.
You told me to press.
Okay, we'll do it again.
Maybe it's in my skin from the indentation.
Same thing.
Same thing.
This time, peek it.
This
and then
time,
cover it.
peek. Before I press?
Peek it, and cover it.
Ah, now I'm pressing.
Covered.
I got it covered.
1 out of 52. What was your card?
What was my card?
Right, is that it?
It's laying on where I pressed. I think it was the jack of spades.
You got to put it back in the deck if I'm going to find it.
Oh, I have to put it back.
Look at it and then put it in the deck.
Oh, see, before when I forgot.
He didn't put it in the deck.
Well, I forgot. See, I was concentrating on pressing.
Gotta
So
look
now
at it
I
and then
press
put it back
and
in the deck.
stick it. Right. Now I got it. If I lost you up, I'm sorry, John, but I get nervous because I don't.
Look at it.
Pull it out, look at it,
Show
press,
the audience.
stick it. I got it. I press, now I'm sticking it. It's back
That's
in,
right.
John,
Any
but my
question?
finger is stuck on your nail.
Okay.
That's it. Now I got nothing, I'm not pressing, and it's stuck back. And you're going back there again.
What was the name of the card?
I forgot what the card was.
Okay, that's one of my biggies.
Sit down. What was it? Was it the 6?
Sit down. What?
What's with the large ashtray? Can't you use this? What's with my shoulder?
This is an ashtray right here.
Yeah,
You
but
emptied my ashtray
He
here.
was doing a shoulder bit with me with the egg like I should have dandruff.
After this, we're going to do the A stuff. Right after we
No,
finish.
that's great.
Oh,
That trick was
why?
wrong.
I'm not going to do that this year. Shall
Really
we?
built up my whole image to the audience, how smart I am. Starting with a forefinger, which I was never...
Shall we bring our little orphan Annie?
Oh, Madam McKinley?
McKinley.
McKinley Mines, Diamonds, you know.
Oh, thought it was Kimberly.
Read the chart on the wall, John.
Delmazing.
A-I-I.
She's, well, what can you say about
What can
her
you say?
that
I
has-
can tell you. She's a lovely woman.
Yes, she's a gorgeous woman.
She's beautiful.
Glamorous.
Oh.
Exciting.
If I could ever...
And you may.
No.
Oh, yes.
I
Could
know,
be.
no, I know her personally.
Been often said, and she's here. Would you welcome,
Take
please?
care of yourself, Ed. Would you like to spread out a little basket with a picnic? Nice. Take good care of yourself. Do you notice constant in the throat? What about guests? So far, I had a wet cigarette, a dumb card, and ashes. Could I have something? A little of your coffee or whatever?
Certainly.
May I taste that? Don't be scared. If you do it on the air, you should be proud and be real. Oh, my God. Oh, anyone that drinks that would drink their own bathwater. Are you crazy?
All right, let's bring out this lovely child.
Shall I move over?
What?
Shall I move over?
When she comes
Well,
out.
she don't have to move over immediately.
Oh.
Otherwise, it's going to
Well,
be
I'd like
very...
to make the move gracefully because when she
No,
comes
leave
out,
it
then
in.
I move over. It may be...
It leaves an empty chair.
Miss Shasha Gabor.
All right.
Stand.
Jerry, I thought I taught you better manners. I made one of my first pictures with Jerry.
That's right, you've been in a picture with
In
Jerry,
a
haven't you?
three-ring circus. It's
What was it
very
called?
fun. Three-ring circus.
Three-ring circus, yes.
I heard that, yeah.
How are you, darling?
I'm fine. Was it a good picture?
Yes, very good.
I was asking Miss
Oh,
Gabor.
I'm sorry.
Was it a good picture?
I never saw it. But we made a very, very funny and very good special last year, and I saw Jerry was an angel. I really adored you then. We had a wonderful time.
Thank you,
I
sir.
must say.
How have you been?
I'm only mad with you because, you see, I'm in a play here in 40 colors, and I have to be there in exactly 10 minutes. And you talked so much, I'm late now.
Well, if they wanted Johnny Belinda, they could have booked the... He did it. He did that all that time.
Oh, I just... Excuse me.
Stopping me again.
Seeing if there was anything left. Little odds and ends, a bauble here.
I wanted to say one thing, darling, before I say...
You're probably tired of talking about that, aren't you?
I looked at you in a green room, and you look so divine in what you have on. You should wear that more often. You look just beautiful on the camera and in life, too. I love
Really?
it. And I don't often make compliments to you.
Yes, you do.
I do. I'll always like a look, but this outfit is divine.
Thank you. That's very nice.
Well, anyhow, you know I was robbed here a couple of weeks ago.
No, you're kidding.
In my own ex-husband's battalion. There's two big men with guns in my face. And I said to myself, thank God, the hair is okay. I just came home from the theater. The dress is right, so if I'm in a coffin, nobody has to make new makeup and hair done on me, because I can't tell them what to do if I'm dead.
Then what did you find out, Inspector?
They robbed you, you mean outside the theater?
No, in the hotel, in the elevator.
Two big men with guns, they came in the elevator. How do you like this, by the way?
You can't get batteries for it, I know that.
How do you like this? Look at it.
It's magnificent.
You know
the famous Carlman diamond has a curse on it.
Man-made. This is a man-made diamond.
Curse is Mrs. Carlman.
Man-made? Zircon. Irving Zircon of 47th Street.
It's not zircon. It's man-made. Isn't it fantastic?
It's just amazing. Why didn't they heist that?
Why in the hell didn't I have that on? I had my big...
Why did you wear all of those expensive pieces of jewelry when you...
I ask myself the same question now, but...
I could answer that. Socrates said it in Greek mythology. For those that have, that put away, then the basis of it would be within.
Socrates said that just after he got ruled. Did you know that?
I paraphrased.
Yes, I know you did.
I might have said that, but I say if you have something beautiful, why have it in the vault? Why have it then?
Right,
So
absolutely. Enjoy. You never know.
Can't keep it in the vault.
You know what they say? But you know what's so amazing? That the show... Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're not on now. I wanted him to show my book, which is coming on the 18th of...
Oh, yeah.
You're not...
You have a book, eh?
I am coming and raising you some money Sunday, too.
And I appreciate it.
And I raised you money before on the same time, and I think it's wonderful what you're doing. I really, honestly mean.
It's your new book, huh?
This is coming out by Doubleday, September 18th. And it's, look, he will, of course, make a terrible crack of us, but read the title.
Of course he will. How to catch a man, how to keep a man, how to get rid of a man.
What can you say to that?
I could only say it depends on the time involved.
That's what Homer said.
Yeah, Homer, I remember. Iliad and the Fantasy.
Right.
Right. Ichabod Crane. Used to be
Did you ever take your,
You know it.
You always give a lot of advice. Do you ever take your own advice?
Of course,
Be queried?
if I would take my own advice, I would be married probably. But nobody takes one's own advice. He must, because he has a lovely wife, beautiful children, and it can't be easy to live with you, I must say.
Nobody told me to do that.
No, but it's, your wife must be an angel.
Sure, she's neat.
Yes, she's gone.
Then does she have time to talk?
When does she have time to talk?
Yes, when do you let her talk?
You know, it's like sitting with a boa constrictor. You know, she smiles nice as your little spritzes.
I don't understand half of the things she says.
Oh, you understand.
You know,
49 years already, still with an accent. You don't understand.
You want to lock up? I'm catching an early bus.
No, but isn't it amazing that the show that Josh has in, listen to the name of the show, 40 Carats.
Yes.
And you should see how good the place is.
I hear it's marvelous. But to get a heist during the show?
Yeah, David Merrick always gets richer, and I get always poorer.
It's amazing.
I must stop here for just a moment. Now let's take a look at what women have been doing to get rid of that,
Rid of what?
rid of the wrinkles. That's what it says.
Oh, that is something.
We're back now. You know, we've talked about a lot of things, but we didn't mention your own show coming up, your own special.
Yes, that's one of the reasons I'm here, because I'd like to mention the fact that I have a big special coming on March 10th. I remember my last special was my 20th anniversary show. And my next special, March 10th, which we just finished, is called Everything You Wanted to Know About Jack Benny, But Were Afraid to Ask. And of course, it's taken from that book, Everything You Wanted to Know About Sex, But Were Afraid to Ask.
I ran into you one day in the hotel. I was coming out of the elevator.
Yes.
And I turned around, and there you were with Dr. David Rubin. And I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know whether he was making a house call to come up
No,
and see you.
I was there. I was there because I wanted to ask him a question like, what can a man my age take to? Well, anyway, the special includes Dr. David Rubin, and then let's see in order. I have Phil Harris, and people who know about me, George Burns, Lucille Ball. I have a great singer, Dionne Warwick, and I have John Wayne on the show. Now, that has to be a good show, right?
Just an average cast.
And I hope you all get to see it. And we're all talking about about me. And we don't talk much about sex, because the three things I don't delve into are politics or religion or sex, because I don't want to get into arguments about any one of them, you know. So we don't discuss that. But everything they wanted to know was how cheap I am, how old I am, and all those jokes.
That's good.
You know.
March 10th.
I'm working very hard, and I also do savings and loan sort of documentary.
I've seen you.
Commercials, so people will save their money like I do, you know. What else do you want me to talk about?
Well, I'm going to
If
bring
I got time to tell you about George Burns, I don't think so.
No, hold on. Maybe we can do it toward the end of the show. Remember the last time we were out here and they had a dinner for me at the Academy, threw me a dinner at the Palladium. You emceed it. And you'd never seen David Steinberg before. You mentioned that night. And David came out, and he really broke it up that night. He was a big hit, and I think you said right afterwards that young man was a lot funnier than I'd hoped.
That's exactly what I said.
But David is a very
just wonderful,
inventive writer-comedian, and he is with us tonight. Would you welcome David Steinberg? David? I think that was the first time that you'd appeared out here on the West Coast, was it not?
That was really exciting. That was exciting because you were both really brilliant that night, and I really enjoyed it. And I had never had that kind of an audience. I never really played to an industry audience. The response was just terrific, and I loved it. Loved every minute of it.
You were great that night.
Yeah, it was fun.
You've been doing concerts, haven't you? College concerts?
Yeah, that's most of what I do. And that is maybe the most gratifying of anything, because the kids are very open and very responsive and very intelligent. They make you very good, you know. And
can they turn on you also? Can they be rough and things not go well at times?
Well, they're much more open than if an establishment audience will turn on you. I had an occasion recently. The last time I was out here was to do that, and that was so exciting and so terrific. Then, in the midst of these college concerts that I was doing, Stanley Kramer called me up and asked me to come down to, it was a tribute to him, in fact, and would I personally come and perform. Now, that's reason enough for me to go, but I really didn't have the time. He said on the dais would be Fred Astaire, Anthony Quinn, Burt Lancaster, Gene Kelly. I said, you got it. No matter what I'm doing, those are the people I idolize. Fred McMurray, Jack Warner. I said, I will be there for sure, just to sit next to them. And every one of those people is someone that I would like to spend 3 hours sitting next to. They sat me next to Rabbi Kahan, who still thinks I'm there and is probably talking to me. And the other real person, relatively real person, next to the rabbi was Fred McMurray, who has gone to sleep every night at 7 o'clock and doesn't know who Walter Cronkite is, let alone me. Now, that was the first inkling that things were going wrong. Then the audience consisted of, and he hadn't, Stanley Kramer hadn't told me who the audience was going to be. The audience was from B'nai B'rith. They were a group of pill-crazed Hadassah ladies. And they didn't exactly. The response was as if I had sung Springtime for Hitler. They just stared at me, you know. The major mistake I made that night was that I didn't self-park. And I had to wait for my car with this hostile audience. You know, they were all standing around me. I couldn't wait for the car to come. But it's the concept of being with your idols, you know. It never works out. I mean, it never works out for me. Either your idols disappoint you when you meet them, or I do the wrong thing without wanting to, you know. the first time I was in California, the very first time, it was a long time ago, I was asked out to do the Dean Martin show. It's just a sketch that they had seen me do, and I flew right out. It was very exciting. And I was so excited to be in Hollywood, you know, and at a studio, which I had never been at, let alone to have my own dressing room. And I was walking around in awe of all this, and I walked down to my dressing room, and I thought I had an hour or so, and I was around, so I thought what I'd do is I'd look in the mirror for a while. Nothing much else to do. I'd make faces or talk to myself or whatever. Well, the mirror was over here. And I came in and I looked in the mirror. And then like in a bad B movie, I saw a body asleep on the couch in back of me. And as I spotted it in the mirror, the body arose. And it got up, and I made eye contact, and it was unmistakable. It was Roy Rogers. Now, well, that is somewhat similar to my response.
I hope I didn't kill it for you.
No. To me, Jack, there are two people. There is William Blake and Roy Rogers. And as a kid, I was so excited to see him, so still staring at him in the mirror, and he just was asleep, you know, and he was kind of startled, and he's still looking at me in the mirror. And I want to communicate with him, and I say to him something I'm sure he's never heard before. I say, "Howdy, Roy." There I am, a college graduate, and I continue. I just say, "How's Dale? How's Trigger?" I don't know how I want so badly to relate. And he says something to me that I think will never ever be said to me again, and that is this Minnie Pearl's dressing room?
You know what's so funny about that to me? I know William Blake, but who's Roy Rogers? Blake, yeah, William Blake.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Correct you there.
Did I kill something?
No. Did you feel that
I'm
you had?
trying to kill something. What? No, go ahead.
I'm finished.
Are you finished?
Yeah. You can usually tell when I'm finished because I stopped talking.
That's it. Comes to an end of thing, he stops, and that's it.
He was, didn't I?
Oh, I sent him the whole tapes of that show
Thank you for
night.
that. The tapes really, you know, all of us are on that tape. They're really played back well. You know, it's very exciting.
Good, I'm glad you like them.
Yes. You got a great future.
Well, thank you.
Of course, but as Johnny says, I'll be dead by that time, and you'll be coming up.
No, you'll still be here.
I'll still be
You'll still be here,
All right.
yeah.
Then I don't want to see him come up.
All right, let me interrupt for a moment, and we will
I
return.
won't let you interrupt.
Yes, you will.
But I will not.
No, here's a message
I'm a
from
guest. I'm
Sears
getting
about
hardly
clean
anything.
wash for you and cleaner water for everyone.
15 minutes?
We're back now.
Is that all? How much more we got? About 15 minutes?
Well, yeah, we got a little time here. Lily Tomlin's going to join us in a few moments. You're talking about now that you're becoming fairly recognizable. You have a little problem disciplining yourself to sit down and write the way you want to?
Well, writing is, in order to write, especially if it's a long thing, a movie or a play, which I will occasionally attempt, you must have the discipline, you must have the authority to just cut everything out and write and nothing else. The last time I was out here, I usually go crazy for about 2 or 3 days in California. I chase all the girls like Harpo Marx, you know, with no sophistication, and then I decide it's time, you know, and this happened the last time. I had work to do. I thought, I'll get the books at the library, go back to the hotel, and write. And I'm able to do that. I'm able to just make that kind of decision. I was on Alta Loma, heading towards Santa Monica in my car when I made that decision. I remember it distinctly. By the time I had reached Fairfax, I had seated next to me a young girl hitchhiker. But she had rapped on my window at La Cienega and asked me if I would take her to Cahuenga. And I thought, why not, you know? But I knew I had my work to do, so it didn't affect me in any way. Right. And also, I can almost block out, so, you know, it just doesn't matter. I am driving on, and did I mention that this girl had a face that was so beautiful? She had long red hair, deep green eyes, and soft skin. I mean, a face that would give the Mormon Tabernacle Choir something to...
You noticed that through the window?
No, she was sitting next to me.
Oh, I see.
You killed it there, Jack. You killed it there.
Then I'm sorry. No, there's more. I'm sure there's more.
What did I say? Was it the Mormon Tabernacle Choir?
Yeah.
One thing you should never try and do is recoup a line. She was just beautiful. Now, it doesn't matter to me, because I don't, you know, I am Dostoevsky on the way to the library. I have my work to do. Somewhere along Los Feliz, she says to me, "Are you David Steinberg?" I'm driving, knowing that I am. Possibly mean to her. I still continue to drive. She says, "I just want you to know that I know every word you have ever uttered, and I think you are sensational." Nothing to me, because I had planned to do my work. So, that this girl had a body that would give the Mormon Tabernacle something to really sing about.
I don't quite get it.
But nothing. Still driving on. Then she says to me, "You know, I'm an actress." And I said, "Well, that's it for me. I'm a narcissistic, megalomaniacal actress." And I mean, I don't. I literally. And she said, "I've just done one movie, and it's out now. It's a porny. Naked, I fled." I said, "Would you like to have..." Willing to blow it all. You know, everyone asks me if my story is verbatim, except for the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Are you listening to me, Jack, or are you just...
Listening to you? I'm looking right at you, right in your eyes.
I know.
They're beautiful. I'm listening.
No, I was... That was the second time you missed when I was finished.
I never know when he's through, do you?
Yeah, he stops. He stops.
Stop.
Very unusual.
Yeah. It's good, though.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
You are good.
Got to sell something here.
You are really good.
Now, another rule is the Foster Ranch sunglasses. Ernestine and company entitled "This Is a Recording." Would you welcome Tomlin? Thought you had your PJs on there for a moment. How are you tonight?
I'm fine. How are you?
You're looking well. Did you bring us a few things here?
Oh, I did bring, some, you know, the last time I was on, not the last time, but another time I was on. What am I doing? Was he looking down?
Oh, what do you mean?
Yeah, no, I was not. Would you like to buy a ticket for $100?
So what would you
And
say?
take some encouragement. Anyway, I see one other time when I was on,
Yes.
I talked about people, you know, wanting to, I talked about pica, you know, people wanting to eat inedible things.
Yes.
And I got lots of mail from it, and I was later on, if going down, I was going to get to that. But that's what that is.
I see. Pica, isn't that the paint stuff or what?
No, remember you ate your cuff? I mean, you were talking about it, about people, those abnormal cravings.
Yes, of eating.
And you pretended you had a craving for your...
That's right.
But people do actually have them. But anyway, I did get some responses that were real humorous.
Good.
As they say.
As they say.
But anyway, so...
Somebody said, you want to read some of them or what?
Well, I could. I hadn't planned to do that.
It doesn't make any difference at all, whatever you want to do.
Well, I'll do it real quickly. I could talk about this. I had this lady, one lady wrote to me, and a lot of people signed their initials because they didn't want me to identify them, I guess. But this one lady said, I love to eat carnations. And if you touch your tongue to rose petals, you get a real weird sensation. Well, I will close for now. I'm not really a kook, but try some of these things. And then another lady liked to smell her dog's paws. Slightly offensive.
The old dog's paws bit.
And this was so cute. Remember I had mentioned I had read an account about a nun biting a heel, the heel of his foot. I mean, the priest had been bathing his feet, and the nun crawled on her. She was overcome with interest, and she was on her hands and knees, and she seized the priest by his ankle and bit him on the heel. Well, this little girl wrote me a letter who's about, and she and her sister, she had an 8-year-old sister, and she was recounting all these freaky things they like to do, you know, different kinds of things they like to smell and all. And her father was an Episcopal minister, and she said, do you think there's any risk that my sister will want to bite my father's foot? What?
When you're finished, could I have the letter about the lady in the dog's paws?
Yeah. A stamped, self-addressed envelope.
This was in the paper, actually, someone sent to me. This lady likes to eat newspaper, which, but she only eats the edges where there's no print. And she said she only eats it when it's fresh. She never eats yesterday's newspaper. Because there's nothing like, she says, there's nothing like the Star Gazette when it's fresh off the press. And she also likes the Sunday Telegram. And she seldom eats the front page because too many people have handled it. Those are the only things.
There are a few dinglings around, aren't there?
Yeah.
Crazy time. Somebody told me, is it true that you have been bothered by a peeping Tom? Is that for real, or is that...
Bothered by a peeping Tom once in my life.
well,
many times, actually.
Yeah.
You were bothered by peeping Toms just now.
Oh, yeah?
A minute ago.
Take it easy.
Did you have a problem at one time?
One time I did. Well, I had moved. It was in New York. I mean, everything happens to you in New York, but I had moved to an apartment. Lived on 5th Street, and I was on the ground floor, and